Children's Home Society is a long-standing organization founded in 1896, and for many, many, many decades was primarily an adoption agency, did a lot of work finding homes for children. And so we had a long history in the adoption realm, and we were still providing in the late 80s some adoption services, but not nearly to the degree that we had in previous decades and centuries. So they were starting, however, a new program called the Adoption Resource Center that was really geared towards working with families and individuals who were somehow connected to adoption, whether they were looking to adopt, were a birth parent who had relinquished a child for adoption, or were an adoptee themselves, or actually even other professional organizations that work somehow with people involved with adoption. So my job with the Adoption Resource Center was to work with community groups and try to help community groups that were working with families with the kinds of things that they needed. So we may have somebody from our staff participate in a group and lend our expertise and resources to that group. We may host and facilitate various kinds of groups. We were very involved with something that was then called the, I think it was the Washington State Adoption Commission or Council. So we did a lot of work in the community. But what we found was that as a statewide agency, Children's Home Society did not have at that point a coordinated, statewide coordinated effort around our advocacy and public policy work. Historically, the organization had been very involved with public policy, continued to be from the beginning. However, we had grown, and we are in many parts of the state, and felt the need to pull that effort together. The then CEO and the current CEO, who was there also at the time, said, okay, let's create this position to do a coordinated effort around our advocacy. And I became that person in 1990. So I stayed with Children's Home Society for several years, and I will probably get my timing a little bit goofed up, but somewhere around late 92, early 93, went to work for the Children's Alliance. And I stayed there until sometime in 94 when I went to work for the Family Policy Council. And the Family Policy Council had been created in 1992. In 94, the Children's Alliance and other organizations, including Children's Home Society, were involved with an effort to create the community public health and safety networks. I was involved with that legislatively and then went to work on implementation of that legislation and stayed with the Family Policy Council until the end of 95, went back to Children's Home Society, the beginning of 96 as the public policy director. That was in conjunction with the centennial of Children's Home Society, and I've been there since. We do look at what's going on in other parts of the country and sometimes other parts of the world in terms of child welfare. And I have felt over the years being involved in the policy realm that our state has had an amazing number of champions around children's issues and perhaps child welfare / foster care in particular, that we're definitely a nonpartisan organization, and I think these issues have been very, very bipartisan over the years, and that has been really fortunate for the field of child welfare.